Incremental readings. Today I want to share this. Could incremental reading become a victim of a popular idea that will adopt only a small subset of the toolset? What do you mean by that? That people will adopt incremental reading, but not the entire thing, just a fraction of what it is. A superficial layer of incremental reading. I'm going to quickly explain this through an analogy, and no worries if you never have heard this. The Xanadu project. Even myself didn't heard about this, but it's a very good example. And I have taken this from a user in the Supermemo community. Basically, in the 60s, Ted Nielsen envisioned a hypertext system far superior of what is today what you will see as HTML. Any website is using this. For instance, this already is HTML already. So because this is green, this is bold, and so on, is because something is behind the curtains. It's not what you see, what you get, right? So what happened? That it was very advanced, had transclusion. Already in the 60s, had transclusion. That is in the wiki. You will see that on Wikipedia. I'm not going to expand on that, but basically it's one piece of text that is regenerated in a section of another text. But it failed. It had automatic royalties and so on. Extremely advanced for its period, for its time. Yet it failed. And what happened to usurper the simple web, the HTML and HTTP protocol took over, adopting a much simplified model than Nelson's advanced ideas. So what's the fear? Is that a popular, watered down version of incremental reading could emerge, discarding the complex but vital tools like Supermemo. That, hey, now I have some kind of incremental reading add-on for this for this app and on this app. Yeah, it's just some of the principles, but it's not incremental reading, right? So it could happen that, hey, people will, if it ever hit the mainstream, could be this. That is not incremental reading. It's not the Xanadu project. It's just HTML. Way simpler, way limited version. Yet another analogy. In case this doesn't resonate with you, there's another analogy as a backup. Take the web as a fast food. It's convenient, cheap, and everywhere. Especially in the US. It's literally everywhere. Then the Xanadu project was a gourmet meal that never made it out of the kitchen because the recipe was too complex for the mass market. Ingredients hard to get or that they expire very soon, expensive or requires a lot of expertise to cook it, exactly the opposite of fast food. Nice. So, we have a risk of obsolescence. Partial adoption. The risk that a new productivity app, that is what's the mainstream, it's always sold as productivity app, will adopt just a subset of the toolkit set, like highlighting, creating flashcards, and so on, claiming to be the solution. This has existed already. This happened already. That official or not official, perhaps is a user that creates an add-on, a plugin of a software, or the software itself, officially, they say it's an incremental reading app, when it's not. They just have some of the features, and that's it. They claim to be a full-fledged incremental solution when it's just a very partial, superficial adoption. Then we have the waiting room. What happens that, hey, I want to create an incremental reading app, it's just me alone, or just vibing with the community users, but we're waiting that, oh, it goes in that direction, but we don't have that yet. It's not enough to satisfy the minimum principle of incremental reading. So we are in the waiting room, and that might be shelved for 25 years, because this is already the age. Incremental reading was released in the year 2000. We are in 2025. So it's been 25 years. So it could be that we need to wait 25 more until someone else does it. And now we have a third layer, the AI threat. So by the time of the world is ready for advanced tools, they may have lost significantly entire to the rise of artificial intelligence. That now I have a software, a full-fledged software, for me to remember of everything I want to remember about what I read, listen, or watch. Oh, now because of AI, I have something that I just plug in my brain, Matrix style, and I don't need that. I don't know what will happen in 2050. It's a long shot, right? Nice. So here I present three different defense points to avoid this. To avoid that the incremental reading gets popular when it's not incremental reading. First is the unity of the vision and code. What was the Xanadu flaw on that project? There was a separation of powers. Nelson, the guy who was a visionary, had the vision, the high level ideas, and so on, but he was not implementing this as an engineer in code, in programming. Others, one guy called Gregory, struggled with this implementation. It's just doing the job of that is what you want, let me convert this into requirements, and then into code, and so on. The iterations. Okay. That's a main flaw. In Supermemo, in December 2025, it's the only software that implements incremental reading. Has an advantage. It has a direct link between the idea and the implementation because it is done by the same person, Piotr Wozniak. Of course, he got help with some other developers, but the core, he started by himself. And when the stage of incremental reading into the year 2000, he was already a company for years. So it was a team effort, but he was there and he was leading everything. And then the efficiency. The vision is not diluted or lost in translation because the theorist is also the architect at the same time. So, you know, why, even if it's very hard to describe and you cannot do it at some degree, it's not a big deal because you build it yourself. So there's no need to communicate it to someone else. And someone else with a human brain could interpret this differently, and so on. Second level is the eating your own dog food. The missing ingredient in the Xanadu team was that they never enjoyed their own project or be users of their own project. This is massive. Imagine you are just in a small team in a startup creating a tool that you don't use yourself. This will limit a lot. It will have an inventory effect because you cannot improve a tool you don't rely on. Because what happens to compare with Supermemo, the creator loved and used the tool. So he was the visionary, the architect, and also the user. I mean the user, because for a while was only himself, then a user, because he introduced one of his friends and then a few people and so on. You may be surprised that the Supermemo World company, the language app, the CEO, and most of the employees, I think, they don't use the Supermemo, the one with incremental reading, at all. They did it, they know how it works, more or less, the basics, they have tried, but they don't eat their own dog food. Well, not seriously speaking, because they are on the language platform, and they use that, so they actually do it, but not for incremental reading, like is the Wozniak project. This leads to a creative loop. You maximize creative feedback because it comes from your daily struggle and enjoy of the software yourself. Some bugs you will experience as a user yourself and stuff like this. It is a huge limitation not to do it. And that was one of the key aspects of the Xanadu project. So quote, you cannot design a comfortable chair if you never sit down on that chair. You can design a beautiful, a good-looking flashcard, a good-looking chair, a fancy chair, but not a comfortable if you never sit it on and you can check if it's comfortable or not. And last layer of defense, evolution versus theory. The business trap. Xanadu faced business uphills and funding issues, leading to compromise and constant rethinking of the architecture because of there's a limited budget, whatever. It's from the business. That means that the limitation comes from the business side. You'll note that that Piotr Wojciech doesn't want to hear anything about business. For instance, this month I said, hey, through my affiliate link, since I see the IDs, I see the holes, how many people bought Supermemo without using my links, and I could more or less infer, or less, using my average, assuming they will get the same average because it's not always the same quantity. It could be a full license or just a renewal, which is cheaper, or a collection that is very tiny. But assuming this, it's more or less I can infer what you're getting from the license alone. But he said, oh, no, don't tell me about business. Don't tell me about sales, because this will harm the creativity. This is a real mindset and goes into the business trap. Okay. Next is the theory course. Nelson went lights ahead of the rest of the world. It was way too advanced. It was in the 60s, not in the 60s, in the 60s. In the 60s means 9 years before the human went to the moon, if this ever happened. Not the point of this video to discuss this. Oh my God, 9 years before that. How many people had access to the internet back then? How many people had access to a computer back then? The average citizen. It was way ahead of its time. But what happened? It was so ahead of time to the rest of the world without a working implementation that the world pulled him back down. More or less the same with incremental reading, because, just a reminder, in the year 2000, how many people had internet at home or computer? More than in the 60s, for sure. More people had computers, but it was something niche to have a computer with access to the internet. It was really rare back then. Now that we take it for granted. And then the natural adaptation. Supermemo evolved like a biological organism. Started in the 80s as just a mere implementation of a speech repetition. And then it added features. And then this. It was constrained by reality, grounded by daily use. And as he was using his own app and designing iterations of new versions of his own app, he grew incrementally, trying to launch a finished utopia that is to prevent forgetting. So, Supermemo needed at least 13 years of development until it had incremental reading. It didn't try to get incremental reading on the 80s. Imagine if this was possible that early. So another analogy, like in the image, is like the Xanadu project tried to build a skyscraper from top down. It's impossible. You start from the bottom and you build and build, and you go upwards, right, to the top, not the other way around. So Supermemo was built like a cabin, then add the room, another floor, then it becomes a fortress, a full-fledged fortress. But the start was like a tiny cabin. So that's more or less what I wanted to convey. To more or less wrap up the video, is this fear that a lot of people, the mainstream, are not going to know the real thing, like the Xanadu project. Even myself didn't even hear that until this year. And you will have a very diluted, watered down version. So I hope that whoever takes over, because I think it's a matter of time, all of empires eventually fall down. The Roman Empire fall down anyways. Whoever takes over is incremental reading, at the very least, a full-fledged experience, or beyond that, but not a watered version. Therefore, incremental reading doesn't become a victim, like the Xanadu project. Those were my 2 cents as a lover of incremental reading. That's all for now. See you incrementally.